Welcome, and thanks for listening to Cherry Bekaert's Not-for-Profit podcast series. In each episode, we hear from the best in the business on the latest challenges, trends, and opportunities affecting not-for-profit organizations and educational institutions. I'm Matthew Saha, leader of Cherry Bekaert's not-for-profit industry practice. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for listening.
Hi, thank you, Matthew. It's a pleasure to be a part of this not-for-profit podcast series. Today, we are going to be talking about how not-for-profit accounting teams can benefit from external advisors to navigate the challenges facing their organization. I'm Jason Sturdevant. I'm a manager in the Not-for-Profit Advisory Group. I have worked for 8 years working with not-for-profits, both as an auditor and a consultant. This includes not-for-profits of all sizes, higher education, arts and culture, social services, foundations, the whole gamut. So we've seen a lot of different things and have a lot of different ways to help a lot of not-for-profit organizations. Joining me on this call is Blakeley Richard. Blakeley, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Blakeley. I'm a prior auditor that now works alongside Jason within our GPS not-for-profit advisory group at Cherry Bekaert. My main focus is also not-for-profit. I have years of experience in both the audit and consulting, and it also ranges from K through 12s, higher education, religious organizations, museums. There's a wide range of the not-for-profits that I've served. And I look forward to talking with you today, Jason.
Thanks, and glad to have you with us. So you and I have both worked on a wide variety of not-for-profit organizations, and we've seen some of the same problems again and again, whether that's responding to changes in accounting teams and turnover that we're seeing so often across the industry, or organizations wanting to grow and not really knowing how. So Blakeley, I know you've worked with several colleges and universities in particular. Could you give us an example of some of the types of problems that you tend to see?
So most of my higher ed clients are dealing with significant turnover, as a lot of organizations are. The biggest thing is the lack of succession plan and really complex areas with just nobody having the capacity to work on those areas. One of my private universities specifically not only had turnover within the department overall, but also their controller left with no succession plan in place. And there was a delay in hiring that interim controller.
Yeah, really common problem. Even with turnover in the industry overall starting to slow down, there's still a lot of these shortages. So what were some of the other challenges that this university was facing?
So one of the big things that they were struggling with and just didn't have the capacity for was their endowments and their investments. Getting them reconciled and posted on a timely every month, every quarter, anything. It was actually to the point where hadn't been done all throughout the year. So yeah, a big thing that they were struggling with was monitoring multiple of their endowments and investments in a timely manner. They had not completed any investment roll forwards for the entire year or any of the unitization of their earnings to the specific endowments. And they also hadn't done any overall analysis over their endowments. So they wanted to pull somebody in and yeah.
Yeah, endowments and investments, really complex areas that can get out of hand without consistent attention. So tell me, what did the university decide to do to help solve these problems?
Yeah, so they decided to pull in our not-for-profit advisory group, and we assisted in the preparation of not only their investment roll forwards, but the unitization of their earnings across all their endowments, and then at the very end, their endowment roll forward. This allowed them the ability to focus on their day-to-day accounting activities and their training of their existing team that they did have and anybody that's new that's coming in. This also created an opportunity for the university to work on those complex projects that I was talking about that they didn't have the capacity before and that we weren't brought on to assist them with.
So they've brought in some outside help, our team, for specific projects. So it sounded like it really enabled them to surge up their capacity, not only for more challenging projects, but also to make space to stabilize their current team.
Yep, exactly. And with bringing on our not-for-profit advisory team, they were able to close the books on time and were ready for the scheduled audit despite the less experienced team they currently have. Finance was able to focus on other significant year-end close areas on top of keeping their day-to-day activities running smoothly. And at the end of it all, the VP of Finance was really pleased and reached out to us with praise and just thanking us for helping them get through all of those things.
Yeah, it can really make a huge difference to be able to scale up quickly with a reliable team with the expertise they need for their industry. It's great to hear that our not-for-profit advisory team was able to make a real difference for the university during what could have been otherwise a really challenging transition.
Yeah. And there's also the other side of this world where maybe they do have the resources for their day-to-day activities, but not enough to prepare for the future. Jason, I know you worked with a global health organization that wanted to grow but needed help creating that framework for their growth. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thanks for asking. So this client was a health organization that was wanting to grow and in some ways needing to grow, but they lacked the infrastructure, they lacked the experience to be able to take that next step. So they ended up kind of stuck in the status quo. They had an interim CFO who was in place, who was trying to help position the organization for new revenue streams, provide additional benefits to employees, and really to make sure that their international offices were following the right accounting. So a lot going on there.
Yeah, there's so many not-for-profits with the amazing mission, but just struggling to get past the barriers to reach it, and make that broader impact that they're wanting to do. How did this organization try to get past these limitations?
Well, like the university client that you were talking about, this health organization realized they couldn't get there on their own. So they reached out to our not-for-profit advisory team for assistance. And in talking with them, we were able to identify several areas where we could help. This included their ERP upgrade and optimization, reviewing their revenue policies, and creating a revenue recognition checklist for both current and future revenue streams. We also provided some research on international accounting to support their team globally. And we also helped them design an indirect cost allocation plan so they were ready to take on private and government grants, which also met the need for helping sure they were ready for new revenue streams.
Yeah, with minimal guidance, right? It's hard for a small team to keep handle on day-to-day operations and have to be involved in all those areas you just mentioned.
Exactly. So it was key for us to develop tools to help them handle additional revenue streams, including grants, and to do so with confidence. We're also able to streamline their day-to-day processes with ERP enhancements, all the while helping make sure that their day-to-day team could keep focused on today's needs, while our team helped them get ready to have a clear path for the future.
So it sounds like in both of these cases we just discussed, and many like them and many other clients that we have, sometimes even the strongest not-for-profit finance and accounting teams need help navigating change and growth. And our not-for-profit advisory team can often be a great resource for making that happen.
Right, and it really makes a difference to have a team with broad industry experience with several types of organizations that can scale up quickly to help. And that's true if that help is needed because there's a change in personnel, a desire to expand, or just needing help to right the ship. Well, thanks, Blakeley, for joining me, for sharing about what our NFP advisory team can do and your experience. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you, Jason. It's been a pleasure as well.
For any of those not-for-profits out there that want to see how our NFP Accounting Advisory team can help you, head over to cbh.com and search NFP Accounting as a Service or NFP Advisory in the search bar. Or you can reach out to our team through our links in the episode notes. Thanks so much for your time. And to close, in honor of Matthew Saha, we have a dad joke. So, Blakeley, what happened to the man who drank a full bottle of invisible ink?
I don't know. What
He's
did
still
happen?
waiting to be seen at the hospital.
Love it.
All right, it's a groaner, but thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
This is Matthew again. I hope you enjoyed this episode and look forward to our next one. Don't forget to subscribe.